I've got coffee anyway.
Excellent. Good morning. I've also got my coffee. Good morning, John and Hakan. Welcome to Discord, guys, and welcome to everybody on the stream. It's nice to have you guys back, and it's awesome to be streaming again on a Saturday morning from my side. Welcome. So we were just talking quickly behind the scenes. We're staying in South Africa for now. This morning I was thinking what would be a nice route, and you go through all the motions, and I just decided why don't we do King Shaka and Durban down to East London. East London has got a very short runway, and the wind is also kind of working against us. So hopefully that provides some excitement as we get there. Hey, Fossil, good morning. I know you're innocent, but you're welcome on stream anyway.
What's the flying time, Nico?
55 minutes in the air, Uncle John.
Who's that?
Yeah, 55 in the air, and then obviously we're just going to run through all the setups and everything else that goes with that. I had a very nice comment from one of the viewers last night that he says he likes to watch me set up the aircraft and things like that. I know a lot of guys do, so we're just going to quickly look at the situation we find ourselves in and take it step by step. I'm not going to rush it. I know you said you want to go out and you're welcome to leave later, but stick around as long as you can.
Appreciate it, thank you. Morning, Fossil. You'll have to bear with me, I'm not overly well at the moment.
I've got guys asking me on the other side, what am I flying? So I'm flying version 3.35.46 on the Zibo, and it is 36, I think R1. I'm going to check that just now on X-Plane, because the beta went live, so it's a actual release on X-Plane. Let's have a look, see about.
Morning, Paul.
Yeah, 36R2. So let me just type it for this guy. There you go, Alex. There you go.
Thank you, Fossil.
Hey, good morning, Paul. Okay, I can see if you can resolve the mic, buddy. Let's see. Okay, so let's do first things first. Let's capture our screen again while this thing is doing its
Hello,
thing.
good morning. Can you hear me?
Perfect, Hakan. Yeah, no, it's working now.
Okay, it is working right now. Hello, everyone again.
Good.
Morning, Hakan.
Morning.
Hey, George, yes, you sound like you're down in a cave somewhere with that mic of yours. Alright, I hope you can fix it a little bit, George. Just bring it closer to your mouth or something. Okay, so without further ado, let's just quickly look at the flight plan. So we are currently here at the top. We are in Durban, and we're going to fly down to East London. In the description below the video, you'll find the link to the South African Air Traffic Navigational Services website. If you guys ever want to fly in South Africa, that's the best source for flight plans. They actually publish all the commercial routes, and it looks like this. They call it the route matrix. So in this spreadsheet, you basically then find all the different routes and the explanations and so on. One of the big tricks that I find when the guys fly in South Africa also is there's a difference. Like for instance, this one, the turboprop route. I see a lot of guys when they go on to Simbrief, they just assume that there's one route for all the planes, and then everybody just follows suit. So anyway, the moment you see any of the Golf Alpha Victor approaches, for instance, and I know this is just trivial behind the scenes info, but anyway, the moment you see that, that's actually turboprop. So one of the shortcomings of Simbrief is, garbage in, garbage out, unfortunately. So if you ever want to do it properly, grab a hold of the spreadsheet. This is the latest one I downloaded this morning. The link is in the description below. Also read through the other notes. My normal private hangar stuff, everything is in there. And I was sitting playing with the runway slope calculator this morning and the ISA deviation calculator and stuff like that. It's all there, guys, so grab it. Martin, yeah, this is going to be the same model, .33, no, I'm talking nonsense, 3.35.46. I have not flown it. The flight I did last night was on 45, so we're going to have a look, see if this one behaves itself. And yeah, Fossil. I'm pretty sure I mentioned most of the stuff that I do some time ago in the way distant past, but even I can't remember everything I say, so it's good to recap. Alright, so I quickly had a look here on PFPX. Those are the turbulence areas. We're not going into any turbulence areas. We are also not going to face any jet streams. Those are the jet stream areas. And in terms of the wind, we've got a bit of a challenge waiting for us. So basically a crosswind in the landing. Let's have a look at that METAR. It's 11 knots. It's not bad, but later on we're going to face a gust of 28. So we want to try and get there before then. It's also forecasting a little bit of mist in the area. It seems low visibility. We'll see what happens when we get there. Right, there is our Navigraph. You're welcome, Fossil. Guys, if you have any questions or anything, just interrupt me. I'm here to enjoy myself, and I want you guys to enjoy yourself. And if we get some education in the middle, feel free to talk as well. You know, just stop me and ask your question or say your say. Right, so this is Navigraph. I've already established the flight plan for us. We're going to take runway 06, the TUBIN 1 Alpha departure. I have absolutely no idea why anybody would go and create a departure like that, but it's there. We're going to take it, then just go down the coast, down to East London. We're going to, depending on how we program our Zibo, going to use that VOR for the approach and then just turn back onto the ILS for our landing. No, there's no Amarula in the coffee. If I talk funny, it's because my palate is a bit sore in my mouth this morning. Apparently during the night I had a snoring session. So if my voice sounds a bit off, it's I'm busy recovering. As easy
I
as
know
that.
you keep me awake every night with it.
Oh, yes. No, last night was a terrible one. I snored myself awake a couple of times, to be quite honest. It was not fun. So, yeah, no Marula, no wine, no beer, no nothing. It's just me fighting against myself this morning. But I have my coffee, yes. I think this is about the third cup. There we go. All right. With last night's stream, we had approximately 21 seconds delay from when I speak to when you guys hear me, kind of a thing. So I hope going back to the original YouTube ingress server and the actual studio, that we've got a smaller gap in the from talk to display or from talk to hearing, whatever you want to call it, until you guys see it. So before we go off here, let's quickly go there, establish ourselves. There we go. So that's our airport, King Shaka. We will simply taxi. I think we're going to go Echo Alpha Charlie and then depart off to the north, then back south. Fossil, at this point in time, I don't think I've got an addiction. I've got a need for it to keep me awake, and to keep me sane. We had a good week at work, so I was pushed to the limits at work as well. So I'm obviously going to enjoy now flying, and I don't want to fall asleep halfway. So let's quickly get into this. By the way, a couple of guys have asked me during the week for the PFPX slash SimBrief data for the 700 and the 900. We obviously have it for the 800 because Twixter gave it to me, but I have not even asked for the actual data for the 700 and the 900. I'll get to that, and then we can publish the appropriate SimBrief and PFPX profiles, and get you guys on board with that as well, just as a matter of interest. Yeah. Thanks, Fossil.
All right, Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
George Carney?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just checking if he's still here.
yeah, it's me.
Cool.
He's
Right.
at least he's awake.
Yeah.
Morning to you, Uncle John.
Morning to you, sir.
And you've got me, you can hear me properly now.
Yeah, we can hear you and we can appreciate you. It doesn't sound good. It sounds like tinny, but it's okay. You're welcome. Don't let that stop you.
You're audible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
I think it's
Hakan.
time to replace my gear.
Yeah. Hakan, I've just connected, so I'm gonna have a look, see if I can actually see you now. Oh, this silly thing has thrown away a lot of the information. Let's just quickly reprogram IVAO then.
Yep, but you look like a Cessna,
Damn it.
for your information.
Thank you. I'll check it out just now. I can maybe I clicked the connect button so fast. Maybe I made a mistake. Well, on this page it actually says I'm a 738, so don't know if you can see that it changes now.
I think it is okay right now.
Okay, so it's changed. Cool. Fossil. It depends on what we actually discussing. The difference between IVAO and VATSIM needs to be categorized. It's not just easy to say this is the one, this is the other one. You get the good and the bad on both platforms. What's nice about IVAO at this point in time, as you can see, we've got the client inside of Explain, whereas if I use Swift for VATSIM, it's on the outside of Explain. So again, we need to look at different categories. How do you compare them? At the end of the day, it's just another online network. You get your ATC or you don't get your ATC, and you see each other. Much of a muchness for me. I don't mind. I think most people are just used to VATSIM more than they are to IVAO. And the only other major difference is IVAO makes use of TeamSpeak 2 as their audio client. So what happens is I've got TeamSpeak 2 running in the background. So when you change your ATC frequencies, it actually hops between servers and server rooms, chat rooms. But that's in a nutshell. Fossil, yeah, I'm using Swift already. I don't have the latest link up to the beta servers, so I don't have all the fancy tweaking and stuff that they do with the VHF and distance transmissions and things like that, where you can, only hear people in certain distances and it sounds, static when you go beyond the distance. I don't have access to that yet, but apparently before Cross the Pond is going to happen, they're going to release it to the general public, so we'll see. What was it? I'll tell you now, hold on. Sorry, George,
Oh,
that's fine.
George. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. X-Pilot. The other client is X-Pilot. That's what it's called. That's the one that Wycliffe Barrett was actually showing us in the week on his channels and in XPD. So that's the other client. So you've got Swift, you've got vPilot, and you've got X-Pilot. Swift is obviously the one I use. vPilot, I think, is going to be for P3D only. I'm not sure if they've got an X-Plane client. Never seen one. Never looked for one either. And then obviously X-Squawk has announced that they will update, but God knows how long that's going to take. I have no idea. Paul, sorry, I see you have joined us at the top there. Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Climb now.
I think as time goes by, I'll obviously test all the different clients and then I'll stick to the one that I like the most. And then we can see what the pros and cons are. At this point in time, I think the biggest challenge VATSIM is going to face is going to explain to the customers that the codec wasn't actually the holy grail, that they still have, the customer themselves, the users still have to set it up properly and things like that. But that's just me being funny now, so we'll see what happens.
TCAS test pass.
Right, there you go, Hakan. Sorry, I said I was going to see if I can see you, but I didn't. Okay, yeah, I can see you. You've got a generic skin on, so that's fine. But at least I can see you and we can fly together. Fossil, it's a question of just practice. You get into it and then you just start practicing. I've got more than 1,000 hours on IVAO, more than 1,000 on VATSIM. But I don't fly online every day. I'll die if I have to put up with the rules and regulations every day when I just don't have time for that. Alright, so there's no star in the East London side, and we're going to use the ILS for runway 11, and we're going to use the EL Victor decision. If it looks good enough for me, I will check it out just now. that looks lovely. Oh man, that looks lovely. Alright, so we're going to cross that BOR, turn back, come onto the ILS. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Nico,
Yes, Hakan.
I have already calculated the ISA and slope. If you want, I can share, but as far as I understood, you are going to explain how it is calculated.
Yeah, I'm going to explain that just now.
Okay. I don't share.
Yeah, that's fine, but thank you very much. I appreciate that, Hakan.
Okay, okay.
So this morning, while I was waiting for the stream, I had some time and I thought, why not start using color a little bit? So here you go, guys. I can send this to you. I don't have a shareable link, unfortunately. It is in Discord for the guys who are on Discord. It's in all the general chat rooms if you guys want to have a look see. But what if you need an explanation, if you guys are looking at finding out what everything means, in the description below the video, if you go to my private hangar and you go to explain 11 in that folder, it's actually, let me show you. Oh, now I need to find this thing quickly. Nope. I wonder did I remove it now? That would be interesting. Got it. Let's quickly get rid of this thing. We'll come back to it. So if you go to the private hangar OneDrive link, you need to go to the Explain 11 Zibo PFPX config flight plan template. Then there's a folder called OFP explained. If you open that PDF, right, what will happen is it will give you all the explanation in the world necessary to understand how this OFP that you guys see on screen now, how this thing works, what it means, where everything comes from, how to use it and things like that. So feel free to browse through that private hangar of mine and make sure you take whatever you need to make your flying experience a little bit better. Alright, so we've looked at the cost index. I know we fly at 20 over here. We need to look at our reserves. Now, one of the things already discussed again in the past couple of days was what reserves to use. I think there's different versions of an answer. For me, and based upon my OFP, I marked them in yellow. So basically you have your alternate and your final reserve. You calculate them together and you get a rounded figure. That works out to something like 3,369 or something, or 2,369. Beg your pardon. And then obviously I just round it off to 2.4. So because it's much closer to 2.4 than 2.3, obviously. So that's where that little thing comes from. Where is that calculator? Let's get the actual value. 1248 plus 1121. Okay, 2,369. So that rounded is 2.4, and that will be the reserves that we're going to use. Right, zero fuel weight we already got. Then our planned trip is to 2.4. Alright, that will be that one over there. It's as close as we can get. I suppose we can go round it up or down because it's almost at 2.5, so it doesn't really matter. And now my little doggy is sitting right next to me and she wants my attention. Shh. Shh.
The Rottweiler.
Oh, shame. She wants love.
Oh,
2.4.
Rainey's sitting on your lap as well.
No, Renee's not here. Fossil, I'm not sure what you mean, but 2.4, if you add 1248 and 1121 together, you get the value I gave just now. We round that off to 2.4, so that's the value. Oh, I see what you mean, 2.4. Yeah, I misclicked. Sorry, thank you. I misclicked. So yeah, that's 2.4 in the reserves. See, that's the dog taking my attention away there. Alright, so then we're going to go look a little bit further, and in our ATC flight plan section, it tells us we need to fly 340 according to the plan. That's below the max, so 340, and I'll have to double check everything. Don't want to do that all the time, right? Right, so if we then go back up, what I also do is I look at the average winds. It's 157 at 30, and we have a 0 on the ISA deviation. Alright, so execute. Alright,
Nico,
yes, okay.
something is wrong here.
Huh?
I don't have coffee at home.
Oh, psh. What else can you have so early in the morning that won't knock you out? Yeah, that's bad planning, Hakan. You were on holiday just now. You were just relaxing. You didn't take care of your needs at home, eh?
Yeah, exactly. For this time, yes.
Bad planning.
Shame, man. Don't worry. Don't worry. Alright, okay, so coming back down on the OFB, we see that Top Cat has now told us we need to use 38 as the SEL temperature. That's our assumed temperature. And then it tells us we can use a derated 2. Take off. I don't want to struggle to climb, so I'm just going to go climb very fast. So we'll go to climb. Alright, we're going to use flaps 5. We get our CG by just double clicking that little line over there, and then we go to page 2, and this is where I need to get rid of that one so I can show you. What do we have for weather? Let's have a look, see. By the way, I'm not using Active Sky today. I'm actually using the IVAO client to inject the weather into the system. So let's have a look, see if it actually is working. I never checked that. Okay, well, that appears to be old weather. That's not the actual weather we have, so let's quickly see if we can get the weather. Dot monitor maybe. There we go. That's the actual weather. Okay, that makes me wonder. So that's right. So the Zibo is reading the incorrect weather file somewhere. It's probably trying to read the active sky weather. So that's fine. We're not going to complain. So what we have here, runway wind, we're just going to use the normal reading there. 010 at 16. 010 at 16. Alright. Then this is what Hakan was talking about earlier. Again, it's in the private hangar, guys. So if you need to go find this, this is a little calculator that I initially started, and Rainer then actually helped me make it look a little bit better, work a little bit better. So that's why I've given him credit there, and it's all here, guys. So what you basically do is you're going to put your elevation of the runway at the beginning of the runway, the end of the runway, and then you put the runway length in feet, and that will give you your slope value. And what I want to do is just drag this chart onto the screen quickly. Sorry, I didn't show you guys, sorry. Now I just noticed the screen capture. Alright, so first things first. This is the little spreadsheet that we made. There's the beginning of the runway, it's 287 feet. So you can see there, it shows you 287 feet at the beginning. Then it's going to ask us the elevation at the end of the runway is 301, and you can see there's 301. Now if you are using FAEL, I think FAEL is the one that I noticed some time ago, it actually gives you the runway slope, so you don't even have to work it out, but not every one of us actually have FAEL subscriptions. So if you're using Navigraph and if you can get a chart, this is good enough. So there's the beginning and the end, and then obviously you've got 12,139 for the length, which we've put in there, and that gives us an uphill slope of 0.1, which is almost negligible, but I mean if you really want to, you can then obviously put it in. So we're going to use the U 0.1, and then again from the chart our heading is 062, and you need to remember to put the forward slash because it needs to put it on that side of the slash. 062, we've got dry, there's no rain currently, no moisture, no snow, there's no anti-skidding required, and the rest is just going to be okay. Then cut back. This is one of the new features that Zibo has brought in. We do have noise abatement procedures here at King Shaka. I'm not going to use it. Maybe I should. Alright, yeah, well, I don't have all the information here, and I mean we can probably go find it somewhere. But this is basically just how you set up your noise abatement procedure if there's any special requirements according to what I understand from it. So noise reductions and everything taken into consideration at different altitudes. Let's just leave it at default. Let me not say the wrong thing and then you say, oh, but Nico said so. So right, so let's leave that until I also understand it better. Right, so now we can go to our takeoff screen and we can actually populate our V speeds. And let's start loading our passengers while I start reading a bit more of the comments. Al Bapino, depends on whether you're an Airbus driver or not. In the Airbus, the biggest reason why you get a config warning, the biggest one for Boeing, is the Airbus pilots come and they actually arm the speed brake. You cannot take off with the speed brake armed in a Boeing. The Boeing just doesn't work like an Airbus. Now that's option number one. Option number two, you've got the incorrect trim setting. If your trim settings are out of bound, it's going to complain. The next thing is the last one that I can think of right now is incorrect flap setting. You need to have the correct flap setting. Yeah, speed brake is the most common one. The guys arm it, you know, and then the moment that happens, you get the error. Now you can test it. If you look at the console right now, what Boeing has given us is there is a takeoff config on test you can do, and all you need to do is move the throttles forward. Alright, that's your config on. Alright, so if you move it slightly and there's nothing, you should be fine. If you get the horn at that point in time, that's normal operation. But just give it a test. You know, if you follow a checklist, you should do this somewhere in the beginning anyway. So be careful. So those three things are the top reasons that I know of and can think of at this point in time.
Nico, move the speed brake and sound the horn so they can see it.
I did.
Right, I didn't hear the horn go off.
Yeah, no, it's there. Can you hear it now? Well, you have to wait 10 seconds to hear it.
Uh,
Right, okay. What next? Where are we? Let's see. Display capture is off. We don't want all that screen tearing. Next step. Let's get our overhead sorted.
Captain Hatch, turn the fasten seatbelt sign. We do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until carried items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
Hakan,
Yes, sir.
you want me to test this ACARS on the FMC again?
No, no, no. As far as I concern, you have enter 101 to left FMC. I'm talking about as a runway wind.
Let's have a look. See. Maybe I need. Yeah, 101 instead of 010. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
010.
sorry, he is awake.
I deserve a coffee, huh?
Yeah, no, you don't need coffee. I still need to drink mine, it seems.
I need another one.
Man, I hate being dyslexic so early in the morning. Fortunately, it goes away as I wake up. Right, okay, thank you for that, Hakan, and I'll try and concentrate a little bit more. Right, where were we? Upstairs.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
Hey, Yoki, good morning. So last night on the stream, I had the most beautiful screenshots in mind, and I was taking screenshots, and after the flight, I wanted to post it on Facebook, and I didn't get a single one because the Streamlabs still have not fixed their screen capture mess that they made with X-Plane. It works perfectly in P3D and all over the other places I've tested it, but the moment I run X-Plane, I cannot do a screen capture with the NVIDIA software anymore. That comes with the VGA card. So now I have to use the built-in X-Plane screenshot facility, which I must just remember to do. It's not bad. It's just I've got a different key set in mind, and then I don't get my actual screenshots. Right, let's look a little bit at the weather while we are waiting. Again, let's see what we have for QNH 1036. Hakan, how far are you? Are you ready to push?
Yeah, I have just started.
Alright, okay. I'm gonna continue the setup here. Maybe we must just get rid of all these guys.
Captain. Your tow's coming.
Fossil, I actually like flying P3D nowadays with 4.5. It's much better than 4.4 or any other previous version. And also the updates that Hi-Fi Sim did to Active Sky has really made it a worthwhile
All right.
proposition.
Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Alright, so I love flying my Majestic Q400 in it. And every now and then when I'm bored, I'll go take the NGX, but it takes me 3 or 4 flights to get used to the NGX again. And I continuously miss everything. You know, the immersion seriously needs some work there. And I don't know, I've heard rumors about the NG3 coming, so I don't know when BMDG is doing that one, but can't wait to see what it will look like. Albapino, ask away. Ask.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
We shall do that when we're ready.
Prepare for departure, cross check and all call, thank you.
All right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Right, Hakan, I'm ready to push, so if you want to pass me, I'll wait for you.
No, sir, I'm waiting for you.
Okay.
I believe there is enough space
Here comes the push.
Yeah.
Line 'em
after
up.
completing your
100%. It's not only on the chart thingy, it's also on the speed tape. So basically what happens is here on the left hand side, it will tell you it's got little markings where you need to retract your flaps. So I'll talk you through that. Okay, what you need to do, Albapina, is here on the speed tape, have a look for the green line with the value, and then you'll see it's got a 5, 1, 2 up listed there, and as you get to them, you have to change. So that's your indication to lift, but have a look as I do it. The same goes for the landing, by the way. You need to look at that speed tape. It will tell you there's your green line with what
Just
flap
about done. Here, go
value.
ahead and set your parking brake.
And then that's the easiest way of just seeing when to do it and when not to do it.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Right, so we'll be doing flaps 5 take off, and let's do our controller checks quickly.
go. If you want, I can be your first officer
And
after
we're
start
disconnected.
checklist.
Signal and pin on the
No,
right.
it's
Take it
fine,
easy
my
and have a
friend,
safe
it's
flight.
fine.
Okay.
Hakan, what we need to do is we need to practice something like that. Otherwise, I'm just going to get confused because I've got my checklist open here on the one side. And in my mind, I've already run through most of it anyway. So if we want to do something like that, we'll have to practice a little bit. All right, so there's our Q,
Yeah,
flaps 5. Yeah,
I wanted to be more realistic.
sure,
I
sure.
wanted to read the checklist, and you are going to
Mm.
confirm whether it is done or not.
No worries. No, I imagined that. That is why I said we will have to practice that a little bit. All right, so there we go. I think we've done everything we need to do to get going. We're on flaps 5 indeed. So I'm going, Hakan.
Okay, I will follow you.
Traffic, traffic. Traffic, traffic. Clear of conflict.
Yeah, it's there, Yorkie. It's there. Oh, that was a nasty turn.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Just taking a few more screenshots. All right, Hakan, you ready?
My phone is calling. Just a
Okay.
second, please. I'm ready. I will wait for separation.
Sure.
On runway 06.
Right, so I need to try and get these throttle levers semi in the same place. And then I'm going to try Toga. Then I just want to check on the tablet if I actually saved my settings. Throttle noise lock is on 5. Okay, well let's try see if it is going to allow me to use Toga now. Let's see. Yeah, much better. This wind is pulling. This wind is amazing.
E1. Positive rate.
Right, so now we're waiting for 400.
400.
Alright, there we go, Command A. This time I'm going to remember the RTO off, and we'll just wait for the red lights to go off on that gear, and then we
1000.
will switch it to off. Hey, more Ryan. Alright, so let's have a look, see at this tape. There you have flaps 1 position. So the moment you hit that line with a 1, you need to go to flaps 1, and the moment you hit up, you need to lift it up. So there we go. Now we're going to flaps 1, and the moment we go past up, we need to go the last one up into the clean configuration. There you go. As we go to the clean configuration, our speed restriction is then removed there at the top as well, and we're okay. And that's how you do the flaps.
I'm ready to go, okay?
I can count another 30 seconds. It's a bit fast, eh?
Okay.
Otherwise separation is going to be an issue later. Sounds good, Ryan. Alright, the author in this area is not perfect, but at least we've got something. Most of every open field that you see at the bottom there is sugarcane, so that's what they farm in this area. Right, and just to also recap for the guys that didn't hear earlier, I'm using the Iveo weather, but I'm using the textures, it's still the cloud textures from Active Sky, but Iveo is providing the weather. Okay, so Albapina, you heard there was no config horn. There was nothing preventing us from takeoff. You'll have to go and look at those 3 options then on your side, which one it is that's tripping you up there. See, in a Boeing, the moment you put your auto brakes to RTO, it's basically armed everything that it needs to arm. And if you abort your takeoff, it will do what it needs to do. So you don't need to manually arm the speed brake at all. Right, if you haven't left yet, Hakan, you're more than welcome now. I think I'm far ahead enough now.
Yeah, I have just A1.
Okay. Right, so 55 minutes in the air, minus whatever we've done already, and that's our flight time. If you guys have any questions and stuff, please feel free to ask.
You have an excellent team aboard today. We are all happy to offer you any assistance you may require throughout the flight. Our in-flight entertainment has begun.
If you guys are interested in following us as we fly online, that is the website you can go to. That is the Avaya web eye, and then you can track me and Hakan. John, no, sorry, I forgot. I never did it. Fossil, no, I don't. I don't have stuff like that.
I'm not in front of computer for a while.
Okay. That's the Avaya web eye, guys. So here on this side, that's where me and Hakan are currently flying. El Babino, that's the best way to do it. You know, practice makes perfect. And guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of WebFMC. I've got it running on my tablet. Yes, I've got a nice touchscreen FMC for the Zibo. So if you want to get hold of it, that is a link that you can follow. It's not my product. I think I might have pronounced the sentence wrong, but anyway, you get the idea. I'm using it here on my tablet. I'm going to use it a little bit later on to input the winds as we do the descent planning. It's just easier than doing it on screen. I'll show you guys on screen what it looks like anyway. But for my fingers, you know, it's just easy to touch. If you want it, go grab it. All the instructions are there for you guys to set it up. It works very, very well, and it's free, so it works very well with the Zibo. And it helps when you quickly want to go make a coffee or go chat to the wife or the girlfriend or whatever, and you can carry the tablet with you, and you have the web FMC in your hands. Fossil, it's a nice little tool. I don't use it on every flight because I don't simulate every flight to the same level. But I just thought of mentioning it. The reason it came up this morning is there was an update during the week. I think on Tuesday they did an update. So it was in my face basically this morning. So that's why I thought of sharing it with you guys. George.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Count to
It's
three.
sounding much better now.
Oh, 10 million times better. What did you do?
Too quickly went down and bought a new headset.
Oh, alright. No, it's much better. Much better.
Okay, now that I've muted the stream, I can hear.
Alright, just take the mic now a little bit away from your mouth because it's not in. I think it's just a little bit too close now.
How's that now?
Yeah, better. That's perfect.
I can take the mic boost off.
No, leave it exactly like that. That's perfect.
Thank you. Oh, where it said that you got.
I don't know, that's ATNS that gave it. It's funny. I mean, if you look at the screen, let me get the screen capture going again. If you look at the way they made it, it's crazy. I mean, but that's how it is. That's what it is. So basically what happens is we took off, we then flew right around, and then you get to TUBIN. And then you're right on the outer range ring there, and then you have to turn left. So if we go back and we look at the actual high-end route, look, we're on the curve there. And then we have to go to OKTAN again. I don't know, George, don't get me started. When I look at nonsense like this, I immediately have questions about qualifications. And you know that's dangerous, so we don't go there.
Absolutely not. But I know exactly where you're coming from. We've been down the same.
Tell you. I mean, it just doesn't make logical sense that anybody would create something like this. No logic in it. But anyway, that's what they did. We just use it.
I thought it would have been nice to turn out to go overseas and then joining OKTAN off.
Yeah, I would have also thought, you know, that you would turn out to the right, go over the sea, and then come back or something like that. I don't know. I'm just using what they gave me. Don't know.
And how's Paul?
Paul's doing well, thank you very much.
And that is good to hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again,
Paul's
for the
also
flight deck,
trying
we're
to
level up
remember
now,
what
and
the
freezing
story
altitude.
is with the bank
I'm going to go ahead and
angles,
turn off and
which
fasten the seatbelt sign. Just like to
the
kindly ask
limits at
if you
different
are
altitudes, but
staying in your
I'm
seats to keep
struggling to
those
remember.
seatbelts comfortably fastened for your safety.
Yeah, I'm not
Onboard
familiar with
computer
the
charges on
specifics,
time
but it's
arrival,
something
no
like
ATC
above
delays
20,000 you go to one, and then above
Or to stay quiet up here,
25,000
have you
another one,
enjoyed
and
the
30,000
flight and the
another one, or
service?
something like that.
Once
So
again, welcome
the
aboard.
higher you go, the smaller the bank angle needs to be. That's basically what it comes down to. And then there's that sliding scale that you use, but I don't care. I don't use it. While you are on LNAV, that switch doesn't work anyway. You cannot limit the bank angle. The computer limits the bank angle. The only time that bank angle switch works is when you're on heading select. So it's irrelevant for me. I don't fly like that.
okay.
The only thing I can remember is 30,000 feet or above, you had to be down 10 Bs.
Yeah. But there's like that sliding scale. John, what happened to you? I see you're not in the room with us. What happened?
He did mention that he was going to come and go, depending
Yeah.
on how he felt.
Oh, yeah. Right, so we have 120 nautical miles to go for the top of descent.
Who's getting ready to go out?
Okay.
Looking at the clouds, got a typical the weather for spring.
Yeah. But the last 2 days the weather were not nice. I mean, the one moment you die of heat and the next moment you grab your jersey. It's so cold. Last night I went out about 10 p.m. to fetch my son from school, and I nearly fainted. It was so cold. It was freaking like winter again.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the thermometer, it's 14 degrees.
We've got 12 degrees in the north of England.
And you're in
Okay.
summer.
Allegedly, yes.
Good answer. Yeah.
And you're supposed to have had a heat wave recently.
That they did.
Yeah, it was in the 30s a week or two back.
Catch up with you guys later.
Okay, John. Bye-bye.
Okay, John.
Take care. Enjoy.
Okay. I wonder how many red tomatoes came back from Spain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of guys would have burnt.
I see you're not far from your favorite area, Matata.
Yeah, I was thinking about it just now. There it is here on the side. There we go. I'll never forget that day. Right, so I'm going to start the descent preparation. The first thing I'm going to do is put my ILSs in 11090. If we look at the chart, let's quickly look at the chart first. Get you guys up to speed. Alright, so we're going to use 110.9 for the localizer. We're going to use the final approach course of 109 degrees, and then we need to obviously look at the final approach point and our decision altitude. Our altitude for the airfield is 435. That has been set up. Our go around altitude is 3,000 feet. We're going to come in, cross over, turn around and go back into that ILS. Our decision altitude is going to be 635 feet above sea level, mean sea level. So that gives us 200 feet above the ground. We're going to use a barometer measuring system today, not a radio, because it is the DA bracket H. The runway visual minimum that we need to be aware of is 550 meters, which shouldn't be a problem. I saw earlier they're talking low visibility. We'll check the weather just now and see if that has changed, become a reality or not. Right, so we need to be at 4,500 feet at the VOR, descent in that turn to come back down to 2,300. Because this is an ILS, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my descent altitude now to 2,300, and then you guys can just follow. $2,300. Course will be 109. Right, our decision height is 635. Zoom out a little bit. $635, that's correct. Right, then now, okay, before we do that, let's quickly get the QNH. Let's see. Dot meter FAEL 1029. Alright, so then let's look at our FMC, and then what I want to do is get the information on the screen again. Alright, so now I'm going to use my Android tablet and that web FMC application, just because it's easier to type that way. So we're going to go and we're going to go to our INET reference page and we're going to select flaps 30 for landing first of all. Flight slope is on, that's fine. Then we're going to go to the descent button and forecast. One of the things we need to find is our transition level. So let's just go back there. That's 7,000. So it's flight level 070. We're going to enter that in there. Alright. Then on the Adobe page, you can see there the different levels of the flight levels and the wind. So we're going to start off by using 200, flight level 200, that's 20,000 feet, 130 and 6,000. Alright, and then we're going to look at 174 at 21, 174 at 21, 196 at 13, 13 and 294 at 9. Alright, so that takes care of all of that for us. Then what we want to do is get our Excel spreadsheet out again. Before we do that, what is our current temperature? Our current temperature is 21 degrees. Right, so again, in the private hangar, you've got this little nifty calculator there. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter the actual temperature. Oh, Louis, I'll speak to you just now. Alright, so that's the temperature. According to the charts, we have looked at that already, but I can show you again. Airport elevation is 435. Alright. And we've got 435. That gives us the ISA deviation temperature of 6. We're going to enter 6. And then we see 1029. So it's / 1029. And we're going to put that in there. And execute. And now we are configured for the landing. In terms of the FMC at least. Alright, let's get that out of the way. I can't remember all the private commands. I hope he gets that. I think I might have broadcasted that, but anyway. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go for an auto brake 3. Very short runway, we want to make sure that we stop. So definitely auto brake 3. Let's get our charts back up on the screen, have a look at the situation there. Alright, so we're landing runway 11 and we literally have 1,939 meters. That's short. That's going to be short. How can you better prepare for that? What happened? Where are you? Oh, AFK. Alright. Something like that. I don't know. Psh. Looks like it doesn't like my commands. Let's not broadcast like that then. Okay, so instead of just giving it to me on a simple web page, it's now downloaded 2 different PDFs. So let me go find it and see see how this private messaging story works again. Yeah, .r. So it seems I am doing it correctly. Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright, so guys, just a quick note. Some people did complain about the Zibo not descending at the top of descent. That's one of the things I'm going to have my eye on just now. If you program this thing the way I did just now, it is supposed to work automatically. There's no button. Again, it's not an Airbus. You don't have to intervene and click a button to make it go down. The only thing that I need to do because of my hardware situation is I need to pull back on my throttle levers to idle. So I'm going to do that now. And then we're going to allow the Zibo code basically to do the proper VNAV for us. One of the things that has haunted so many users for a long time is just obviously hardware interference on the VNAV code. And the best way to just counter it is when you are just about at your top of descent, pull back to idle, let the VNAV run its course on its own, then it should be perfect. Hey Janix. Yeah, thanks. It always helps to know who we're talking about, eh? I saw you mention something like this in the week on Facebook as well. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Nice to have you here. Right, so there is East London down there. We're getting close now. I'm glad to hear that, Colin. Thank you so much. I'm sitting here looking at the screen and I've just realized we're not flying with diesel, you know, that dirty brown black diesel. So the contrails are nice super white again today. That's amazing. I'm glad somebody fixed that.
Like a nice new livery there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
really
Very nice. Yeah, Jacques surprised me in the week with this one.
We are descending for East London.
That's correct. I'll check if my descent has started. I don't think my descent has actually started yet, but we're close. We are very close. Yeah, it started, eh? Wrong one. That's the one. Aviation, Chris, I am unsure if I can increase my volume. Let's see. Okay, how does that sound now? I'm kind of boosting it a bit.
15 minutes. Want to thank you so much for your company and business, and hope to see you again with us sometime very soon.
All right. I'll bring the mic a bit closer. If anybody else has got a problem, just let me know.
I got you loud and clear.
Yeah, but you're on Discord. The stream is a bit of a different story. During the week when the 900 was released, I was one of the unlucky ones that picked up a bit of an issue with the sound on the 900. I spoke to Zibo personally about it now. He says he's investigating, but he didn't pick up on it yet, and there was only one other guy on the Discord server that actually complained about it. I haven't seen any other complaints, and what I then did was I started fiddling with my sound settings and tweaking and playing, and then I went back and showed Zibo what I did so he could, maybe investigate further, like you said. So I'm sorry about that. You guys must just, feel free to tell me if you can't hear me, and then I'll just adjust.
But listening to you on the stream, sound is also very.
That's good. Yeah, we want everybody to be happy, and Chris was obviously not, so I just lifted the volume a little bit here in Streamlabs, because it's obviously a broadcasting issue. It's not a physical local issue.
Have you announced your descent?
I did. And fastened the seat belts.
I saw that. You're not far from Butterworth either.
Nope. Chris, I basically use the forecast winds as per the OFP. Alright, let me get that back on screen quickly. Alright, so those are the winds. I toy around with it. I can't really say why. I don't have a scientific reason for using them, other than in my mind I'm obviously descending, so I want to give the Boeing the best chance of calculating whatever it needs to calculate, so I give it the bottom 3. And that's basically it. Now the funny thing is, if you look at the winds, these winds were observed literally midnight last night. Alright, so if you look at that, in the real aircraft, those winds, as far as I am aware, gets uploaded real time. So for simulating purposes, this is good enough. For real world, it's obviously not good enough, but I just pick the last 3, and then I just enter them and give the Boeing the best chance to give me a proper descent while taking the winds into consideration for landing. I would say active sky is more relevant because it's through current winds. So if you can use active sky, rather use active sky, because it's current, it's right there, that's where you are at. I just mentioned this was the winds in the AFPs taken the previous night, and I mean anything changes, as the atmosphere heats up, things change. So this is kind of irrelevant, but it's what I've got, so I just use it for illustration purposes. You're welcome.
Do some people use the runway wind as the lowest level, Nico?
Not in the forecast page, no. No, you're not supposed to do that. This is about the descent and descent planning. It's got nothing to do with what happens on the ground. Not on this page, Paul.
Yeah, sure. I could have sworn I saw somebody do that very recently.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you can, because it's possible, but it's not right.
Set it 1,000 feet, but use the runway wind. I think
Yeah.
that's what I saw.
So I'm pretty sure you can do it if you want to. It doesn't make sense to me unless somebody can convince me scientifically that it's got any use. I don't know. You got me.
Maybe I was dreaming. I'll try and find out.
Isn't there another page that you enter the runway wind?
Yeah, but that's on the takeoff. I did it earlier in the stream. It was there.
No, I was out there.
Yeah, no worries. No, I did it earlier, so you can go back and see. Alright, so now we've got our fixed rings set up for our flaps as well, just to make sure. Okay, when we get closer, guys, keep your eyes here on this speed tape on the side. You'll see the little green lines with the flap speeds come up, just as we had in the takeoff ascending portion. We're going to have in the descending as well, so just keep an eye on that. And then for my own purposes, I obviously drew the fixed lines, so when I get to the first one, I know that's flaps 1, second one is flaps 5, third one's flaps 15 geared down, and then my discretion within 1 mile of the final approach fix, we're going to go flaps 30, so that's why I did that one. Beautiful weather depiction this Ivea weather actually gives us. Very nice. Look at all these clouds. Wow.
You've got nice puffs in them.
Author coming through nicely as well. Wow, very good. This airport, hey, George, I don't know if you've ever flown into East London here in X-Plane. It's a default airport. It comes, included with X-Plane from the gateway. Man, this is a lovely little airport, and they've got this cell phone tower right next to it. It's actually got moving like LED lights that moves up and down on it, and it's a real neat little airport, this one.
Yeah, it looks like if you got a new Johannesburg.
I've got a new Johannesburg, yes, the new TDG one.
Okay.
And it's free, so you must just go download it. It's on the org.
Fine. Thank you.
I think I put the link into my stream last night anyway, so you can find it. Otherwise, I'll give it to you again. Yes, Paul?
I've just found out where I watched somebody put 1,000 the wind at 1,000 feet into the descent planning. It was flight deck to sim in his last stream.
Okay.
It's 1 hour and 54 minutes. If that's any help. There wasn't an explanation, but that seemed to be what he was doing. So I don't know.
My friend, I don't know. I can't argue with him. He's much more qualified in this aircraft than what I am. And for some reason, there's now a turnaround happening here. So what I want to do is just quickly take the heading select from the Zibo. I never checked my legs, and I think what I did was, I obviously must have a double up or something in there. I don't know. It's irrelevant. I can fix it manually, so we'll do that. Then what we're going to do is go to flaps 1 now. Going to use the speed brake quickly. Seeing as we're doing this manually now, I'm just going to make a little bit of a greater turn than the autopilot would have done it. Alright, so if you look at the speed tape now, you see there we were supposed to be up, above, up, and we're supposed to be on 1, above 1. So in between 1 and up, that is the range for the first flap. And then you must just keep your eye on there. As you bring your flaps down, and I'm just arming my speed brake, we don't want to use it all the time. As you're going to extend it, the 1, the 2, the 5, I think the next one will actually be 5, then 15, then 25 or 30. They will all come up there and give you a proper indication. Now, if you want, we can look at the actual speed, the flap limits, because it's a famous thing in the Zibo nowadays. The guys extend it too fast, it rips off, and then the Zibo takes a nosedive and they all come complaining, oh, the Zibo is unstable, it killed me. But it's because you rip your flaps off because you don't adhere to the actual engineering specifications of a Boeing. So just bear that in mind. But that is your indication over there. You can clearly see when you have to be at what flap for what reason. And what speed, obviously. Right, so I'm going to turn slightly that way now. Right, so what we're going to do is go for flaps 5 now. And there you can immediately see the 5 came up, giving you your indication, and then it will go down to that speed. Paul?
Sir?
Your story about flight deck to sim reminded me of some discussions I've had with Jorge as well, many times. He said to me, Nico, you flight simmers, you split hairs. He's told me many times, in the real world, you're the guy in command, you have to do what you have to do. And I've actually used these words many times on my streams. It's okay to have theory. It's like the 753 rule for the flaps. It's a theory. But when you get there and ATC interferes, where there's interfering, etc., whatever the interference is, and sometimes we get guys on stream talking to me when I'm trying to land as well. You know, those kind of interference. You know, being pilot in command, you have to do what you have to do. There are obviously tricks. The real world guys know that us flight simmers don't know. They've got different experiences. So, yeah, I mean, it happens. But the bottom line is, I mean, I can't argue with a real world pilot, you know.
Well, yeah, ultimately you've got a machine to operate, haven't you?
Yeah, do what you have to do. Right, so I'm turning back onto that localizer now. I think a lot of flight simmers come short because they are unable to adapt. The moment the machine doesn't work anymore, the automation goes, you know, their ability goes as well, which is kind of sad. You know, guys need to
1,000 to go.
be less dependent on the automation, really.
Thousand to go.
Right, so I'm gonna initialize my approach button there.
1,000 to go.
That should be a decent angle.
2,500.
Okay. Go for 18, that's it. Very nice visibility I see here in the milk, eh?
You spoke to see.
Hakan.
Yes, sir.
Alright, now I'm just checking if you're in the cockpit, because if you were not, I would have had to phone you now. And I'm almost at the localizer, so see the glide slope's active already. Alright, let's go. Get down, flaps 15. There's our autopilot taking the localizer. Right, so beautiful, beautiful. And our missed approach again was 3000. I'll keep that in mind. Alright, flaps 30. Bit of a nose up there. There we go. I can see you, I have your visual. Right there over the sea. Well, so far I have not had any problems with .46 in this version. It all works. Everything seems to be fine for me. Right, landing checklist. Let's quickly see. Speed brake on, flaps 30, gear down, 3 green, auto brake set, landing lights, everything in play. And then the other thing, guys, you see that white bar that has just appeared there? The moment that thing comes up, go to your go around altitude. So that's done. Nice headwind.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Bridge, altitude set.
Hakan, we've got 15 nautical mile wind straight from the front, eh?
should be able to keep this one straight on the runway.
Freaking hope so.
Did you get your rudder sorted out?
Sometimes I think so, sometimes not. I don't know. I'll just take it as it comes. It's okay. It's usable, but it's not the way it used to be. The Thrustmaster just is not as nice as the Cytec one.
200. Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Ooh, that's a long landing for a short runway.
4,000 feet remaining.
Oops. Oops. That might not have been a good idea. But we made it. It wasn't a good landing, but nobody died.
You can take this turn, yeah.
Akan, runway's vacated, you can come. There's the cell tower I told you guys about. That thing looks so cool. Damn it. Terrible landing. Terrible. Terrible. For me at least. But anyway, I made it.
Terrible landing as well.
No, I didn't watch. I didn't see. Where are you?
Look at your left.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, there you are. You're already off the runway. Okay. I still wanted to look, but anyway, you beat me. This is one of the airports I'm definitely gonna come and practice a little bit more on. I like this approach. This was actually pretty cool. I need to come and practice here a bit. I'm just gonna park here. I can anyway. I'll find a spot.
Okay.
I'm unfamiliar with the airports. I don't know where I should stop in terms of a Boeing, so I don't really care. Alright, brake set. Hey, good morning, Ferry.
Flaps up.
Did. You're seeing a delay in the stream. Delay in the stream.
I'm coming, you're next.
Mm-hmm. Terminate the leg, that's fine. Ground services. Did I not open the door? Let's have a look, see. What light is still on? Oh, taxi light is still on. That should fix it. Ah, there you go. And there's the stairs. Welcome to East London, Hakan.
Thank you very much, sir.
And everybody else, sorry for the terrible landing, but I'll come practice it for next time sometime. At least nobody died, and I enjoyed myself. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Sorry, Paul.
Everyone is alive.
Yeah. Well, not for long. There, you just took off my poor winglets, but it's fine.
No.
Philip, thank you so much for joining, man. It's always nice having you guys here. I'm sorry I missed last Saturday, but it was one of those things. Guys, I'm gonna do 1 or 2 replays quickly. If you guys want to stick around, you're welcome. And then if you still want to chat, have a have a go. Let's see what you need to ask or to tell me.
That was an expensive bit of parking there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've got this very, very rich Turkish friend, eh? He owns half of Istanbul's baths and some real estate there. He's okay with money. He'll send me a couple of bob. I'll fix this winglet very quickly.
Cool.
Hakan?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear?
Yeah. But I'm in Ankara. I think you are talking about someone.
No, I know you're in Ankara, but you can still own all the baths in Istanbul, because that's where the tourists go. I know you're a very clever businessman, so you won't buy them in Ankara because nobody goes there. You buy them in Istanbul.
Okay, sir. But no problem. I have some people I know.
Okay.
We can send your aeroplane to them to fix it.
Fantastic. I know you've got the contacts.
Yeah, and then if you leave any kinds of problem like this, don't hesitate. Directly tell me, okay?
Okay, thank you, Hakan. Guys, just as a matter of interest, I can't tell you who he works for, but he is an aeronautical engineer. He designs wings and airfoils and things for a living. He designs aircraft for a living. Hakan is actually a very clever aeronautical engineer in the real world, in real life.
No, not very.
Yeah, you're just modest.
I'm shy a little bit.
I know.
Excuse me. So let me say what I am doing exactly. I'm stress analysis engineer. I'm sizing airplanes designs.
Okay.
I mean wing designs.
Okay, cool.
But
so that was a research collision.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He created work for himself, you see, and he's made some money off of it. All those things. I mean, this guy's clever, eh?
No, we can't say. We can't say that.
Shh. Hey, Hakan, don't worry. We only have 18 guys on the stream and a couple of guys here. Shh, it's fine. Yeah. It was a deep landing, damn it.
A nice float there.
Oh. Yeah, nothing to see here. Cough, cough. And this morning I thought about it. I haven't used runway follow the terrain contours in a long time. So you guys can see I actually enabled it for this flight. I missed it quite a bit. But when I fly in certain areas in the US, it's broken. You can't use it. So that's why I took it off. But I'm glad I switched it on.
This is the one of the properties of Explain 11 why I choose.
Yes.
It's incredible beauty.
It looks like the runway dropped away from you there, so that doesn't help with the long landing.
Exactly, because you get to where it says 40, you pull back on the power and you imagine you're going to strike it, and then it falls away and then you go, oh, there's another 10 feet. This is again the difference between a flight sim pilot and a real pilot. I mean, in real world, nobody would have batted an eyelid about the landing. It's just how it is. It happened. It's perfect. Nobody died. No false teeth broken. No pants need to be changed. But if you sit and you watch the video, you know, people scrutinize it and and then they go, you did this wrong and that right and this wrong. Fossil, you must just check the add-ons that you use. I recently bought, in the last week or so, I bought myself the new Cape Town International from FSDG. I haven't checked their runway contours. We can check it if you want. But I usually, when I use NMG scenery, I don't have issues like that. He seems to have figured out how to take away all the bumps and the stuff. Okay, just the area. Okay, got it. I forgot to close the door. Sorry. Oops.
Then my friends, they can't repair your airplane anymore.
Is it? Oh, Hakan, shame.
This is very big mistake.
Oh, yeah, personalized air conditioner installed.
Let me say, out of warranty.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You should have felt the draft.
No, the cockpit door was closed, eh?
You should have heard the screams, though.
Yeah. I suppose.
Pretty that doesn't come in as a decompressurization.
Well, it's in the replay, George. If it was in the real flight, there would have been a complaint. But remember, this is just in the replay now.
Oh, okay, so it was closed before.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, Escobar parachuted out. Yeah, he dropped a bag of money and the coke and he just bailed. That's the truth there, Yorkie.
He was going to Mtata.
Okay, yeah, they're in the mountains. To all those wheat fields. I wonder if they still have all the wheat growing there. Probably.
Now you know why the economy for them is so good.
Well, it was still within the landing zone, even though it was deep.
Nico, thank you very much for the beautiful stream. I got to go, and
Sure.
also have a nice day to all participants. See you later on.
Thanks, Hakan. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye, Hakan.
Ooh, look at that chadder. Okay, well, guys, thank you for watching and joining and laughing with us. Before I go, I want to go do that cell tower. I've been talking about it. Look at that. Look how nice that is. I mean, this is part of the default scenery.
That's very good.
Yeah. Bitrip, I enable 3 AIs to get the IVAP to show me the TCAS. So I go to over here. Where is it? AI aircraft. I've just basically got 3 enabled. Then it doesn't give me the error message that it will only display 1 aircraft in the TCAS. I'm not sure if this is right or wrong, I don't know. It works for me, and this is how I fly it. So that's a yes. You're welcome. All right, I'm going to sign off now. Guys, thank you. We'll talk soon again. I need to do a lot of flights for FS Economy, so I'm not sure if I'm going to stream it, but if I do, just, if you've got time, pop in again. It's obviously going to be GA. I'll be flying the Quest Kodiak somewhere in Alaska. And I need to make some money to pay this aircraft. And we'll see how that pans out. But until the next stream, thank you very much, and God bless. Bye-bye.
Fine, thanks. Bye-bye, Nico. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
Pleasure.
it. Cheers, Paul. I'm going to be going as well.
You take care.